If you're dreaming of growing organic food with less weeds, less water, and way less work, this video is for you. We started our food forest here in Zone 9 5 years ago, and if I could go back, one big thing I'd do differently is how I think about wood chips. Now don't get me wrong, wood chips are incredible for building soil, but there are some caveats I wish I knew before I started. In this video, I'll share 3 lessons we've learned the hard way, and then I'll take you on a tour of what our food forest actually looks like after 5 years of growth. Let's head out to the food forest, and I'll show you exactly what we've learned so you can avoid the challenges we had and grow your own organic food even faster. Wood chips, they're awesome for keeping moisture in, but they also keep rain out. So they're kind of like a moisture barrier. And I didn't totally get that when I first started. And so we were just dumping wood chips at any time. And now I've realized that being strategic about when you place your wood chips is really important. So we lay wood chips down about this time of year, ideally a little earlier. So end of winter rains, when it stops raining and all that rain has gotten into the soil before it starts to get hot, that's the best time to put wood chips down because we're locking in all that winter rain for the long hot summer. So we're keeping it in there. We also have the drip system underneath the wood chips. So the drip system is down where the soil is, and then that water is protected from the wood chips from evaporating. Then throughout the summer, these wood chips break down. They break down pretty quickly. The more moisture that's locked in there, the faster they'll break down. And then by the wet season again, they're thinner and the water can really get in there. And then we layer on more in the summer. And it seems like a lot, like people have asked, doesn't it just build up forever with wood chips? But we're in this really sandy soil, and there's a lot of space in between the sand for that wood chips to break down into really fine humus and compost and just really small particles. And then the rain comes and kind of like making a cup of coffee, it drains it deeper into the soil. So yeah, we are building up soil, but 8 inches of wood chips breaks down until almost hardly anything by the end of the summer. So that's really important when it comes to wood chips. Is timing is everything. Use them to build up moisture into that soil as well, especially if you're in a dry climate like us. Over here, we have 3 biomass accumulators. I have society garlic. We call it bovine. This is a very gelatinous plant. It has this like aloe-like gel. And then we have a clumping grass. These 3 biomass accumulators are awesome because they're really easy to propagate. You can divide them up, and we basically stick them in the ground, and they almost always survive, even with some neglect. So they're really awesome just to have in your garden to create biomass. But in particular, we have these 3 because straw is an awesome medium for getting seeds going. So let's say you want to do a ground cover of calendula, and we start calendula from seed. We just scatter the seeds. And if we were to put wood chips down, that's going to prevent those seeds from coming up. But if we don't cover anything, that soil is going to dry out and it's going to be hard to get them going. It's going to be hard to keep it moist. But if we put straw down, it's like the perfect medium. It protects them from birds, it protects them from the sun, keeps enough moisture in so they can really get going. But straw is expensive and we don't want to have to store all this straw. So we just chop these grasses. We cut them and then lay them over our seeds. So we are planting lots of these. We're propagating them all over. So we have what we need right where we want to plant. So if I was to take this radish out when it's done, I'll sprinkle my calendula seeds. There's seeds like right over here. So I'd grab them, sprinkle them, cut this grass, toss it on top. Done. What's cool about the bovine is it has the gelatinous aloe-like substance inside. And something we learned when we took our syntropic agriculture course was when we planted these little nests, we used bananas, the trunks, as this gelatinous moisture source so that we could slowly have moisture being infused into those little planting beds, the nests, over time. And so we started experimenting with different plants. We've used aloe in the past, but aloe doesn't do well when it freezes here. But this little bovine plant holds up. And so we're now plant propagating these to put everywhere so that as part of our chop and drop, before it gets really hot, before these really intense heat waves we have, we can chop and drop this and put it around plants that we want to help maintain moisture, especially at the surface there, things like seeds especially. And then again, the society garlic. We're just now experimenting with this, but Gilberto pulled some out at a landscape job, and we quickly discovered it divides well. It does really well. It takes to our soil, and so we're going to use it as another biomass accumulators. Experimenting with different plants, different biomass accumulators that can help you keep your soil covered and keep your soil moist, and planting them in strategic areas, part of your guilds, part of your whole system, so that you can build your soil easily. Wood chips are awesome, and that's what we use to really kickstart things in the beginning, but it's a lot easier to just cut some grass or just cut these leaves and dump them where they are rather than moving wheelbarrows of wood chips. So now that our system's more established, we're kind of phasing over. We're phasing out wood chips a little bit and phasing into all this. So one thing to note about wood chips as well is that they're great for suppressing weeds, but eventually they break down. And as they break down, they make the soil more rich. And that creates the perfect opportunity for weeds. And I call weeds just any plant that you don't want growing there. That broken down wood chips creates fertile soil for more weeds to pop up. So putting down wood chips once is not going to keep weeds away forever. And you need to also put them down pretty thick, like 6 to 8 inches. But the one thing that I found that keeps weeds away forever is ground cover, especially if it's evergreen perennial ground cover. So this is a beautiful Pozo blue sage, and no weeds are going to come up where this sage is. So we've been slowly just adding more plants as our wood chips break down, and using ground covers, especially evergreen perennial ground covers, to protect the soil, to prevent unwanted plants from coming up. I mean, it's kind of this thing where plants really are the ultimate weed prevention. One of my goals is to eventually have our paths be all time, so we don't have to keep laying down wood chips because, you know, we moved a lot of wood chips. I think I'm good for a while. And now a little tour of the food forest to show you some guilds. This is a little guild that we are really, really excited about. We have yarrow here. There's some collard greens, some vetch. This is a little Mexican bird of paradise. This is a eastern redbud. And then down here we have salvia, sunflowers, calendula, more collard greens that went to seed. Of course, California poppies, a little sunshine, some more yarrow, and then a shoestring acacia. And then, of course, where's the food? Well, goji berries, mulberries, figs, more collard greens. I've cut back most of the cilantro, some sweet peas, but there's still some cilantro left, some berries. That's all arugula that is done and now going to seed. And then these grapes are climbing up this shoestring quite nicely. Strawberry trees, more calendula. That's for the GoldiGlow. So I've been propagating more sunflowers. And then here we're experimenting with strawberry guavas. We planted 5 of them, and we're not sure how it'll go, but we're excited to find out. A little apricot tree. Another strawberry tree, more grapes. That was so much arugula. We ate so much arugula this winter. Beautiful borage. This area kind of went wild, and now we're kind of trying to reclaim it here. Here's another Acacia cultiformis, the knife leaf wattle acacia. We just planted that last fall. Oh, this is a phenomenal little nectarine tree. More salvias. Cilantro that went to seed. And then This Asian pear tree just loves the heat. It's got little pears on it. More sunflowers, more arugula, little pomegranates coming in. And then all these little grasses Hilberto planted for the cats. It's a calendula. It got pretty wild in here because this collard green just loved its life, and it's tapping into the gray water. You can see we have more coming this year. And then this is a little pluot tree. Little pluots. And then more planting because we're obsessed. Little nest for the cat. Okay, I'm gonna go around to get to the fruit trees. The other side. Yeah, there's all our pluots. Another little acacia shrub. These actually get pretty big though. And this acacia is holding up this collard green that just got so heavy with seed. Look at all the seeds on these collard greens. So we'll have collard greens for the rest of our lives. And then little kale's in there. It's probably might need a little help. And then this is our Santa Barbara peach tree, and it got a little sick, but it's coming back and it's got peaches on it. So it's not the happiest tree, but that's okay. And then Stormy out for her shift. She caught 2 gophers in a row yesterday. Well, he's hunting too. He caught his very first gopher last week, and he's hooked. Oh, see, there's a gopher. Did you see it? You can tell where they are when the cover crop wiggles. And this patch of parsley. I hope he's not eating my parsley. The sun shines on it. Oh, yeah, you can see it. I'm excited about our little passion fruit that's going to go over this trellis. We just planted that. That was gifted to us from a YouTuber. So thank you, Seth. And then our almond tree, which I wish we had pruned a little more, but I'm excited about all these almonds. And I'm very excited about this little arch of greenery. That is the goal, is to feel shaded from the harsh sun under a light canopy. Check out all these olives. Good thing I finally learned how to brine them, because we're going to have a lot of olives this year. Not from this tree, but look at this tree. Is that too many olives? Okay, one last little spot I want to show you before we conclude tonight's tour. I love this view. Oh. So we're kind of transitioning into that summer look. It was 90 all weekend, so a lot of the lush leafiness is kind of giving way to that summer look, but still beautiful. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little impromptu tour of Goldifarms, and to see what it looks like at the end of spring and the beginning of summer here in Zone 9A. And yeah, if there's anything you want to know, just let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time at Goldifarms. Take care. Looking for the perfect gift for a loved one or for yourself? Give the gift of glowing skin with GoldiGlow. We handcraft every jar right here at Goldifarms using our regeneratively grown calendula. And this month we just received our 100th 5-star review. So come try GoldiGlow for yourself using the link below.